Hey, everybody. Hey. Uh, yeah, everybody that's not here. Okay. All right. Well, be quiet. There you go. All right. So, hey, everybody, we're here. Uh, I'm glad that three of you has shown up. That's awesome. That's wonderful. So far, so good. Hey, there's Beth. Got your order out today, by the way. Just letting you know. And so I know that you're going to be having a hell of a 420. So just letting you know that's out. So anyway, today, tonight I thought we would discuss some of the happenings that are going on within the industry, and honestly, it's kind of ugly. It is. It's kind of ugly and pretty. I don't want to say, "Hey Jake, hey, how you doing?" I don't want to say that it's doom and gloom and all that shit. It's not. But it is what it is, man, and we're just gonna have to, deal with it, and hopefully, like forever, me and Brandon have been through a lot of BS it before, and we've seen it, rise and fall with the tide, and it'll be what it'll be, and hopefully, we'll all be together on the deal. Yeah, Beth, hey, I appreciate you doing that. I appreciate you, coming along for the ride with us, and I always try to, if you pay, it ships. I mean, that's the name of the game when it comes down to it. And so that's the way we like to do it. And so hopefully, that all works out for everybody in the end. But yeah, the industry is we're being attacked, man. Honestly, we're seeing some stuff, and then now there's these tariffs. And but honestly, I believe in the long run, the tariffs are going to work out real well for our country. But in the short run, whoo, our industry is going to get hit. And I mean, but I mean, a lot of the industries is going to get hit, man. So, but I believe we as a group are going to get hit bad, especially because, you know, that kind of uptick in money, for the goods that we sell each and every day. Oh, that's going to hurt. That's really because I mean, Brandon and I were talking about, grinders today, and because our grinders get made in, from a company over there, and oh man, looking at what the prices will be, if when we have to re-up, if we do, that'll be bad. In all honesty, that'll be very, very bad. So we have to deal with it because it is what it is. If we're going to continue to deal with it now, we have quite a few grinders. Thank you, Lord, that we have those in stock, and we have a ton of glass right now. So thank goodness because what we do is we like to put the profit back into the product. So we've got way too much, and that happened to us back in COVID, and now it's kind of happened to us during tariff season. And so we have all this stuff here, and hopefully that'll help us out in the big picture here, and we'll get something done with that. So fingers crossed, right? Fingers crossed. Hopefully that'll be something great for us, and for all you guys too. Hopefully that'll be something you guys want to do too. If you need water pipes or anything of that nature, uh, I got them. I got a lot of them. You need hand pipes, I got a lot of them. You need grinders, I got a lot of them. We've got a lot of foreign product in right this second and under tariff costs. So, don't worry about that right now. Buy it while you can. That's all I'm saying. Because once it's gone, it could be a minute. So who knows? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's just see what happens, and let's don't doom and gloom it. We got enough homegrown doom and gloom with legislation right this very second. Uh, hopefully 420 will pan out for a lot of us. It looks like the economy's starting to turn around. Looks like people are spending some money. At least they are in our stores and they are in the warehouse at the wholesale. And as you can see, the UNS Wholesale, and I am talking about our Dougies. We had grindies that we have that are our grinders. We also have Dougies, which is our dugouts, but they're made in country, so we're not worried about them at all. We have plenty of that in stock right this very second, as you can see on the right hand side of your screen. Okay, so I guess we should just we should get into this while we are and just go on and jump right into it. I guess Brandon's going to pull the first one up, and this is HHC. I don't know how many of you guys out there are selling HHC, but whether you know it or not, HHC has been added to this thing here, and it's going to be kind of a problem, man. It's going to be kind of a problem, and kind of is what it is, and whether we like it or not. So if you look at it, HHC is added to Schedule 2 of the 1971, Jesus Christ, that's forever ago, Convention on Psychotropic Substances, right? So they're looking back at this, and on March the 12th, during the 68th session of the Commission of Narcotic Drugs, otherwise known as CND, uh, HHC was added to Schedule 2 of the 1971 Convention on Psychotropics. Well, the vote follows the World Health Organization's recommendation that this product be added to Schedule 2. It requires 36 votes, passed comfortably at 49, no issues whatsoever. And the United States abstained, though. And placement of HHC on Schedule 2 mandates that all signatories of the 71 Convention, roughly 148 countries, restrict HHC use to only scientific, medical, and industrial purposes. Okay. But apparently, this runs afoul of the Farm Bill, and I mean, uh, we're kinda in where we almost have to fool with this. We almost have to look into this, and of course, old Pam will have to do her job. Pam Bondi will have to do her job and look into this, and I mean, this could be a real issue for people, man. And because a lot of people, including ourselves, at the wholesale, we have some HHC products, and this could be an issue, but not today. Apparently they're kicking the can down the line, and they got to give you a chance and an opportunity to speak on it and to be able to openly comment on it. And so I don't know, man. In all honesty, I mean that it don't look great, but I mean I could see them scheduling it another way, maybe a schedule 4, schedule 5. But I mean, even if they did, we still can't sell it. We still can't sell it. So I mean, there's going to be a whole lot to this, man. And I just wonder how many of you guys out there sell it, and is it going to really affect you? I mean, I know you'll just move to another product and you'll put it in there, and it'll be what it'll be. But I mean, ugh, that's ugly. That's really, really ugly. So we need to pay attention to this, everybody, and we're going to stay up on top of the news with this. And if you don't, you're going to wake up one day, it's all going to be gone. And when it comes time to do public comments, I'll probably let you know. And you need to get out there and open your mouth and say something about it, and go straight to the website and let them know why you don't think that should be. But I think it does run afoul of the Farm Bill. Just my opinion. Don't make it so, and just kind of an odd situation there. And I'm not a big fan. On the other hand, you know, I remember the spice thing, and I remember how lawful it was, and whether you believe it or not, I just don't believe it really was ever really lawful. It was a research chemical that just flew underneath the cover, of the whole thing. And of course, we sold the living hell out of it, and everybody in the industry sold the living hell out of it. Now, some stores and some places did not do it. They did not participate in that. They didn't think that was the right thing to do. They thought it was dangerous, and maybe it was. Maybe it was dangerous. And so we never sold the powdered stuff. What was that called? I can't remember. Um, can you any of you all remember that it turned everybody into zombies? Uh, we didn't sell any of that. Bath salts. Yeah, we didn't sell any bath salts or anything like that. We missed the boat on that. I thought it was awful dangerous, and a lot of people was getting sick, and was no use in getting involved in that. So we didn't get involved in that. We lost a lot of money from that. Well, we didn't lose a lot of money. We just missed a lot of money from that. But on the other hand, kind of kept our customers safe, and so we never got involved with that stuff. But we did sell quite a bit of spice. We did sell quite a bit of it, but we knew where our chemical was coming from. We had our own brands. We only sold our stuff. We did sell some zombie matter. I remember that, because there at the end it becomes such a hassle to make our own, and so we didn't know when it was going to be over with. And in the end, man, that caused me a whole lot of trouble. That damn zombie matter did, and they ended up raiding the stores over it and all of this. Although theoretically it was lawful to sell, and it is what it is, man. Honestly, I'm kind of glad that's over with and done. But man, that money was good. Man, that was good money. But yeah, and I mean, there's always something new that comes around. Now everybody says that about the 7.0, that everybody thinks that 7.0 product is a big deal. And that it's they're selling the living hell out of it. Well, of course you are, man. The reason you sell the living hell out of something is because it's mildly illegal, and the substance and chemicals that it's made with are just so over the top. I mean, over the top. And so I don't know, man. I just don't think it's a good idea. Beth says that was a fun time. We were adult bath salts. Those are special people would buy it. At least they got clean after. Well, yeah, I mean, that's right. Uh, we just didn't get involved. We didn't get involved at all with the bath salts. There was somebody trying it one time. He tried to give me 1,000 pieces of it. Hey man, just sell it and pay me when it's sold. I don't know, man. Too much was going on. It was way in the news. That dude had when that happened, man. That guy was just in the news. Had been shot several times trying to stop him. He was so crazy, and he was beating people up and hurting people, and so they shot him down. Yeah, I know how you feel, Beth. Time to replace the keyboard. Uh, Bath salts came from Karma Sutra. Well, maybe, 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 yeah. They came from everywhere, man. They was everywhere. Everybody and their brother had a brand, and some of them were much stouter than others. I remember that real well, and that was kind of scary too. And some of them, man, even had more powdery looking than crystallized salt. And so that kind of made me weird about them. Like maybe there was some other cut into it that I didn't know enough about, so I didn't get involved. And because I really just didn't want any bullshit, and I really just didn't need that, in all honesty. So I didn't do it. I just did not do it. And I guess in a lot of ways, man, we lost a lot. Epsom salts and cents. Oh well. I mean, did they try to snort them too? I mean, I mean, I remember, you remember the bath bombs and things, right? And I remember I tell because it had on it there was a bath salt, and I remember people telling me they wanted to crush them up and see if you could snort them too. And I'm like, I don't think so, bro. I don't think you can do that. And maybe you shouldn't. Shit'll make you sick. And so I don't know, man. I mean, they'll do what they're going to do, I guess. So I mean, But anyway, I mean, we are really looking at a lot of legislation around, especially kratom and other. They're trying to regulate hemp in other states and things now. I did not ask questions. People will snort or smoke anything. That's a fact. Right. Only to be used as intended. That's a fact too, bud. That's a fact too. By the way, I got your email, by the way, and I'm waiting to get, a couple others. And so that I can do like a montage of shops. And I'm thinking about doing like a live where I bring them on here and I feature people's stores and things. And, I'm really looking forward. I've looked through all your pictures, man. And, I've got everything. I got a good idea how I want to handle that. I just don't want to. I don't want to review that store. By the way, man, I don't want to review your store and tell you what I think you could do better, what I think you could do wrong, what you're doing wrong. But I don't see anything wrong because we started in a flea market and we were doing everything wrong. And even our first store was completely wrong, laid out wrong. But it is what it is, man. And I think everything looks great. I love seeing what people's doing and what they're getting away with. And sometimes, man, I think that sometimes when people just don't know what it should look like, that's kind of the fun of going into smoke shops and walking in and seeing, is this more old school? Is this more new school? Does it look more modern? Does it step back in time? I kind of like honestly, I kind of like the stuff that steps back in time. I kind of like the old school look. I like when, the building smells like incense and, not musty, but kinda, and gives it that feel. And I absolutely love that look. This new stuff, man, where these guys are, copy and paste and they got the same stuff on their walls. I hate that. I hate that. And, where it's just crammed full of crap that, it just looks so, I don't know, like truck stop. Looks like a truck stop. Yeah, that's it. It looks like a truck stop, and I just don't want to see that, man. I hate that fact. I like it when it's a little darker inside. I like seeing the incense smoke, and I like the dude or the chick behind the counter. Can't wait to talk to you. Because some of these copy and paste stores, man, they don't want to speak to you. They want you just to get the hell out. They want to draw their hourly wage and call it a day, man. Yeah, Beth, give me your store, man. Give me your stuff. Give me your pictures of your store. Give me your, the addresses and everything, because I want to be able to feature them, and I want to be able to put your address and maybe even a link to your Google page, so that they can, jump over there and check you out. If they happen to be in your city, I want them to go to your stores, because I think that's how we all learn how to build stores is see everybody else's. And I absolutely just love looking at store pictures and things. And when people will call and want consultation, submit their pictures and everything, and I get to see their store. And some of them, man, ugh, I don't know how they thought they was ever going to make that fly. And then some of them, man, I think they just tripped over it. And then I said, well, how did you learn how to set it up? Well, I started looking through Google pages of everybody else's, and I found out how they had their layout. No, I just did the same thing. But it's not your spin, it's not how you think it should be. And no matter what I tell you, you still got to put your own flair to it, and that's what I try to tell everybody. But I absolutely love looking at the pictures. And so if you got some pictures and you want them put into the show, I don't know if I'm gonna do it on a live or if I'm gonna make a video of it or whatever, but I absolutely want to do nothing but a video or a live of nothing but these pictures, because we get like we're doing now, we're being able to share, our screen and show what we've got here, and especially these news things, because there's a lot of news, but I really know that with our whole community, I think we could all put our pictures in from our show, our stores. And so if you're watching this and you're on there, one of the other seven or whatever's out there, and you're watching this, please, if you got a store, Send me your pictures, send me your Google page, send me your address, give me a phone number, something, I want to be able to tell these people who you are. I want to, show your stuff here, man. Even if you're not a customer, even if you're not a customer of my wholesale, I still want to be able to push you guys out there and be able to show the country that these stores are still open and mom and pop is still trying to make a living. And you guys really need to be exemplified for what you guys have done by just being able to stay open, in all honesty. And I realize, it's, 10, 15, 12 hours, whatever it is a day. I understand that. I get that. But that's why you're still open, because that's what it takes. And I know you guys know that because you're already doing it. Okay. So if you're out there and you got a shop, just send me the photos, send it to email, send it to askchadwade@gmail.com. Send me the photos, send me the name of your store, send me the address, send me your Google page, copy and paste the link, put it in there so that I can put it in to the whatever we do with it. We do a video of it, whether we do a live of it. I want to be able to push you guys forward. And this isn't just about my wholesale or me selling consultations or anything of that nature. I absolutely, you guys are really the bear. You are what keeps it going, man. You are what keeps this whole industry going. It's not these chain stores that's got 30, 40 locations, and it's not the guy down in Florida that's selling uh his uh his idea of a franchise. It's not that. It's you guys. You guys are the bread and butter of the industry, and I'll be damned if they tell me different. And I know better. I know better, because there would be no champs without mom and pops. There'd be no champs. I swear there'd be no champs. There'd be no age. There'd be no TPE. There'd be no nothing without the mom and pops. And so you guys are the backbone of the industry. And no matter what anybody says, without that backbone, the body don't stand up. That's just how it goes. Okay. So let's get going. We still got some more things I want to show you here and get you going here. So hang on, let me get over here where I can get this going for us. Hang on. And so, okay, so Florida House Panel okays tax on all hemp derived to THC products. So if you got a shop down there in Florida, you may have a problem. Okay, so apparently all hemp derived THC products will be taxed at 15% under a proposal passed in the Florida House Committee on Wednesday, right? And that's been well, today's the 16th, so that's this past Wednesday, yesterday. Holy shit! Oh my god! All right, the measure is one of two regarding regulation of hemp-derived THC products, sponsored by Panhandle Republican Michelle Salzman, that was approved unanimously in the House Budget Committee. And the reason it was approved unanimously is because they're selling a whole lot of hemp products and they want that 15%, not just the sales tax. Okay. And I'm not sure it's not going to be the 15% plus the sales tax. Oh my God, that's a lot. That's a lot. The main bill is a companion to a Senate bill that has already passed under unanimously in that chamber. Of course, man. Greed does that. Although they do contain significant differences. Among them is that the Salzman bill would not ban Delta 8, the hemp derived THC product that has grown in popularity since hemp was legalized in the U.S. under the Farm Bill. Okay. Like its Senate companion, the House bill limits the amount of Delta 9, though, hemp derived products such as beverage and gummy. It says edibles that contain more than 2 milligrams be individually wrapped and be sold in containers with no more than 20 edibles. That's going to hurt. That raised objections from Patrick Schatzer of your CBD store, who says his company is the largest CBD brick and mortar business in the country with 260 locations nationwide, but 42 of them are in Florida. Well, anyway, this we'll leave all the links down here so that you can read the whole article. And it looks like there's about to be an issue, as bad as I hate to say it. And there's a lot, man. There's a whole lot here, a whole lot to talk about, and I got to be careful with this because they'll screw me up. This all comes from the Florida Phoenix here, and he's pretty pissed off about this, man. And Shatter objected to the provision limiting 20 servings per container, saying the average dietary supplement permits 30 gummies in a container. He raised objection to a prohibition on selling, delivering, bartering, giving, furnishing hemp consumables that total more than 100 milligrams of THC to a person in a 24-hour period. So if you picked them up in the morning, theoretically, you shouldn't be able to come pick them up in the afternoon. Also, how in the hell do you enforce that? I mean, if he's got 42 stores in Florida, I mean, I could drive to here, I could drive to there, I could drive to here, and I could just be loading down with them, man. But I mean, that's crazy. Uh, she's open, and apparently, Salzman is open to changing some of these limits. She's holding firm on limiting personal consumption. Of course, they are. You know, it's about your freedom, not theirs. You could have all the alcohol you wanted, but God forbid you'd have some CBD or Delta. Speaking of which, I'll have a drink. Okay. 100 milligrams of THC a day. That's it. That's it. That's all you're getting, according to this chick. I guess it is what it is there, man. But apparently they're gonna use that the first $6 million of revenue would go into the General Inspection Trust Fund for enforcement and testing of hemp derived products. Jesus, $6 million. That's a whole lot of testing, if you ask me. But of course, they're not going to ask me, and they're not going to tell you, how much that kind of thing costs because they're too busy lining their pockets with it. You know, it's unreal, man. Oh yeah, and prohibited the packaging that might be attractive to children. Well, if you're doing the proper amount of regulation on that, which check their ID. Don't sell to people that don't look right. It is what it is. But you're going to have to change all your packaging. Don't have anything that's attractive to adults. Make it very sanitary, and then, of course, the House bill prohibits THC products from being sold, given, bartered, furnished, delivered to consumers at festivals, fairs, trade shows, farmers markets, expos, pop-up retail establishments, and it would ban anyone from ingesting them within 1,000 feet of a public or private elementary, middle, or secondary school between the hours of 6 a.m. and midnight. So at 12:01 all the way to 5:59, go wild. Just go wild. Eat all you want, right? Man, sometimes I wonder to myself about the foolishness of the world that believes that they can regulate this and that everybody will just listen. Well, that's insane. You can regulate up to this point, but then after that, man, let's just go buck wild, and let's just do whatever we want to, and no problem. You just get crazy. God, you know. People in my age, we do collect, I don't know, comic books, and we do collect sports memorabilia cards. We also like cartoons. You know, uh, you can't see it or not, but I got a Mickey and a Monopoly and a Scrooge McDuck poster right here, and these things may even be considered, you know, kitty, that they would be attracted by a child. So what the hell, man? I mean, I can't like a cartoon type image on a baggie. What the hell are you thinking? Maybe you do that to, I don't know, candy. Think about it like that. Similar to no alcohol on Sundays. That's the very truth. Yet we still have drunk driving accident. Limiting doesn't fix everything, anything or everything. Beth says, "Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right." And you can't. One thing I was taught in my forced vacation, uh, you are only in charge of you. That's it. You're in charge of nothing else. And, if you don't know better than to drink and drive, or you don't know better than to consume vast amounts of drugs, maybe you shouldn't do it, man. Maybe you shouldn't do it at all. Because you're a special kind of stupid knowing, that you get in a car and you do something like that. That's a mistake. It's a mistake, to even think that people would regulate themselves, when they definitely should. I know not to do that when I'm drinking, here at night. I don't get in the car. I don't care how hungry I am. I'm never going to McDonald's and picking me up a double cheeseburger and some fries after I've had a glass of bourbon. Not going to happen. I'm just going to have to deal with it, but not much of an eater at night now. Now I like salad and, believe it or not, hot pickles. I love hot pickles. Oh my God. Love them. Love them. But anyway, side of point. But yeah, man, it looks like there's an overreach, overregulation, and it's just coming from every direction. And I mean, at what point do we say that's enough? As shop owners, when do we tell ourselves, hey man, I'm ready to quit. I'm done. I've talked to 3 or 4 people here this past week. Today's only Thursday, and they're telling me they're closing their stores. If they can't deal with all this regulation, they can't deal with, all this bullshit. Now these tariffs has got them screwed up, and they're not going to be able, to buy product because it's going to get super expensive. Brandon and I have been receiving email after email of suppliers that are telling us, effective immediately, these prices are going to be raised 20 and 25, 30%. Brandon was telling me of a new one yesterday or today, even that, he got something from a supplier of ours, that unless we go ahead and purchase what they've got, our next purchase from them, in a week or so, may be 30% higher because of the tariffs. It ain't the tariffs, man. You just raised the prices because you saw that you could with your warehouse full of goods, and of course they said that, they had a bunch of stuff that, still had quite a bit of stock, and we could go ahead and buy it at the old rate. Well, how can I buy it at the old rate if next week it's 30%? The hell are you talking about? You're just raising the price for the hell of it, just in anticipation, of it. And yeah, as a matter of fact, they are. As a matter of fact, they are. And as stuff comes in off the boat from us and we have to pay the tariff, yeah, we'll have to initiate, a price increase at some point, and we'll have to deal with that. And because, we do have a hell of a container coming in right this second, and we are dreading the living hell out of it. And we just don't know how they're going to, if they're going to back up and say, no, 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 it's just the 10%. It's not the, price that he had told originally, because ours is coming in from the East Coast, not the West Coast from China. So hopefully we'll pay the lesser of the tariff, and if not, yeah, all that goods is coming in, that's going to be more expensive, and it will be because that's part of the shipping cost. And I've always told people that logistics will always kill your business if you're not on top of it and you're not charging correctly because of logistics. So I'd ask that question. I'd ask that question. Have you, before I bought anything from anybody now, I think that question ought to be asked from anybody, hey, are you raising prices? Is this a deal? Should I go on and buy this stuff now? And probably the answer is, yeah, you might should go on and buy this stuff now. That's my best case scenario for most of you. And I think you probably really should do that. Go ahead and make your purchases, get them before the prices go up. I really believe that we are definitely buying from that group as soon as humanly possible when we get the list of everything that's still there. And we will be purchasing that stuff because I know that it's good sellers for us. And I don't want my customers to have to get kicked in the dick when it comes time to pay, and I'd rather, you guys to always have a good price as best I humanly can. Beth says, I had too many of those emails from suppliers. One backtracked after saying there was a tariff increase and they had then going to add a 3% tariff surcharge. They had a lot of canceled orders. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. And then, well, Beth, you all have got, adult products too. And a lot of adult products come from overseas. I do know that. And so I don't know how that'll hurt you guys at all. I don't know that. And, but I'm betting that that's going to increase your cost. But a 3% tariff surcharge, the hell? What are you talking about? But man, I've got people who already charge us a technology surcharge if you use a credit card, but they don't charge you the surcharge if you use a bank account and you ACH the money to them to pay the invoice. So I'm already seeing these surcharges. I think it's like a 4% surcharge. And really what they mean is, their credit card processing. So they're overcharging me for credit card processing already. And so they make a little money just because you used it and got it out of the way. I would think they'd want to get paid. I really would. I would think they'd want to get paid that way and be done with it. But makes it hard on people. Really does. Makes it very hard on people. And then, with me, I see a lot of people that their company is totally different than what their invoice says, and so we have to constantly chase that down and figure out what it is. Beth says a lot do. There's a lot of moving production to European countries. Yeah, I'll bet. I'll bet. Or they're going to ship their product to European companies, and then they're going to relabel it, much like what the Vietnam and the Philippines is doing for China right this very moment. So whether you know it or not, you keep hearing about the Philippines and Vietnam coming to the table as fast as humanly possible. Well, of course they are. They're Chinese overlords that told them get their ass up there so they don't have to, and they can ship it right down there to them, and then they'll relabel it and then ship it. And then, of course, if you're watching TikTok at all, TikTok they're telling you your Chinese suppliers there are telling you to buy luxury brands at bargain basement prices, and they're going to give you like 248 hours to come into the country. It's a 248-hour visa. It's called a purchasing visa, and you go there and you can buy straight from get factory direct pricing. And they're showing that, man, that you could see that even on Instagram and Facebook. And these Asians are just doing whatever they can to keep their factories open. So if you want to buy, Hermes, or you want to buy Chanel, or you want to buy Louis Vuitton, or you want to buy any of that, they canceled a lot of their orders because of this. And so now they're stuck with an ass load of product, and they're going to sell them to you at a bargain basement discount. Now, will it have all the logos on them? Kind of look like that in the videos. And you can see it on YouTube too if you're looking for this, and you're not that you're doubting me, but go look on YouTube and they'll show it to you there that this is what is being done there. So a few of them have talked about trying to slide it under the technology tariff. I don't import, so not sure of the difference there. Well, I mean, Trump is trying to throw some things out there about technology, and if this is like magnets and components for computers, that full tariff may not apply to them. And so I'm guessing that some of the vaporizers may not apply, but of course the glass, the grinders, things of that nature, they're not going to be called gears, and they're not going to be called test tube beakers. So sorry, my mistake. Ooh, I don't know why I did that. My breathing must be wrong. But I don't know, Beth. Maybe. I mean, they might, but I don't think they can pull all that. I mean, I had a supplier tell me just last night. She was telling me that she was going to. How did she put? Oh yeah, they was going to move all their vaporizers and she was in Asia, and they was moving all their vaporizers to economy class, and that each vaporizer shouldn't cost more than $1.10 in tariff a piece. And by doing so, and according to the sales price. So maybe, maybe I don't know. And but I'm not willing to take that risk, and I'm not buying, five, 600 pieces. But I mean, if that's all it is $1.10, yeah, I mean, I guess I can tack that on, to the price. And and she's trying to that way, because I was getting on her about, hey, I'm not going to be able to order this stuff because you can't get in with the right pricing now. And she's telling me that, well, no, 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 we're going to push it in under this clause, and it shouldn't run more than $1 or something a piece. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. You know, and until she knows that, she's got a couple of warehouses here in the United States, so they're going to push them through to the warehouse. And she said that way she could test it and see if it was true. And I guess we'll know in 30 days. Yeah, that $1.10 still adds up. It'll be $1.10 until it gets here. And now there's an upcharge. Yeah, exactly. So it gets here, and let's say the base was $7, and then they say $1.10, so that's 8.10. Now they round it off to 9, $10, 9.50, and and they have a tier system of buying, of course. And 1,000 pieces gets it at its lowest cost, which would maybe be $10, because they can't do it for free, And so I understand that, but I don't want to pay it all. I don't want to pay it all. I don't mind to pay some, you know. But anyway, it is what it is. All right, let's see what the next piece is, Brandon. Okay. So, Indiana lawmakers approve bill to regulate hemp products. All right. So, let's have a look at that. That's going to come over here from Marijuana Moment. And this is the whole article that I'm reading from. Uh, it says contentious regulations for marijuana like products advanced through the Indiana House of Representatives on Tuesday, but will have to survive closed door negotiations before crossing Mike Braun's desks. All right. I filed a dissent. Travis Holdman, the measure's author, told the Capitol Chronicle, we've got some cleanup to do, and they're going to be working on it. All right. Products with legally low concentrations of Delta 9 have proliferated in Indiana alongside other containing Delta 8 THC and other isomers. Yeah. Attempts to regulate the industry, which is booming on shaky legal footing. I don't know how shaky it is. The Farm Bill says it's not, have failed repeatedly, mainly because of the Farm Bill, but are nearly law in the form of Senate Bill 478. These products being legal under federal law but have no regulatory structure here in the state means that technically it's not illegal to sell these products to minors, to target youth with advertising and packaging. Well, yeah, it is, bud, because you got to be. They're in a spot where you're supposed to be checking ID for them, but of course you're not doing your laws right. You ought to check for ID in for adult items, dumbass. All right. No testing requirements to protect consumers from potentially dangerous adulterants. Sorry. Measures set out advertising, age limits, licensing, packaging, testing, and other requirements over the current unregulated substances. It authorizes the Indiana ATC to oversee the industry, including approving up to 20,000 retail permits, which means you'll have to buy a license to be able to sell hemp derived products. Here in Kentucky, that license will cost you $2,000 as of 2026, and that'll be for low dose hemp, which my business is not going to sell in my stores. We are not going to be selling low dose hemp at all. So I'm not paying for that license. We're not going to sell any of that hemp crap after that because nobody's going to buy low dose hemp, and everybody won't play by the same rules, but they'll always come in and try to pop the usual suspects. And I'm one of them. So I'm not going to give them a chance to do it because we're not going to have any of that crap in our stores. Okay. So, the General Assembly should take action on the current state of this product, Tim Wesco says, but I don't feel like this is the appropriate action. Instead of moving us further down a path of dramatically increasing access to these products that are known to have adverse and negative effects, load of crap, we're setting up a framework that we're likely not going to go back on, that is just going to expand from here. The bill's next head to the committee for negotiations. Conferences will hammer out a compromise. If it survives the products process, it'll head back to each chamber for a final vote. Ugh, yuck. That don't look good to me, man. That don't look good to me. It don't even sound good to me at all. It looks like they're trying to pigeonhole us all into a place where, okay, Indiana did it. How about Ohio? How about Illinois? How about Michigan? How about Kentucky? And we've already done Tennessee up really big. And so let's try to regulate that too. And so if it's good enough for these states, let's do it for all the states. It makes it really easy, honestly, for us to see where the average retailer could just give up and say, hey, man, I can't do this, man. I cannot be involved in this one more day. And it's easy for them to say, hey, man, you're looking to buy a store? Oh, yeah? Well, I'm looking to sell. Give me 100K and I'm out the door. And it's barely more than what the inventory is worth. And you've just basically thrown it all away because you just got fed up with what's going on in the industry. Sucks. And I can understand that, man. I really can. I can really understand that. And I feel your frustration, and that all really, really, really sucks. And I don't want that for us, but I see more and more of it every single week. I know some of the guys just quit answering their cell phones, and then they text me, hey, man, I'm closing my store. There's nothing to talk about. I actually got that text, man. There's nothing. We don't have anything else to talk about, man. I'm closing the store. I'm trying to sell out everything I got. I'm having a going out of business sale. I'm not buying anything. Thanks for the help. That's the end of it. Okay. Sorry to hear that, and there I was. I really didn't know what to say. One company I helped get up off the ground, told him how to set his store up. He bought consultation, and we did it all. He even bought some stuff from my warehouse, and he got up and running. He was doing real well, and then everything just went south, just went sideways on him. Regulation came into his state. He didn't see it coming, and I didn't see it at all. And then it just happened, within a 2 or 3 month period, and it was quick. It was very quick. And then, of course, now we're seeing more and more of it, and kind of is what it is, y'all. And I hate it, and I see it in more and more states and legislation, especially like Texas things. Texas is trying to do something crazy too, and it just seems like they're constantly, trying to screw up something, and I don't know what anybody's going to do about it. I mean, they literally will do up somebody in a heartbeat in Texas, apparently. And then, I've got a couple of really good clients down there, and they were telling me that this gets worse and worse and worse every single month. And the news has got them all down in the mouth, and they're all messed up over it. And they think, well, hey, man, and they're like, Chad, can this really be happening? Yeah, as a matter of fact, it can, and it's happening to a lot of people in a lot of states. So I don't know. It's not pretty. It's not pretty at all, man. So we'll go through that too while we're doing it. And yeah, as a matter of fact, they will. And if you look at this, this is in Politico. And will Texas kill a multi-million-dollar industry? As a matter of fact, they will. And Texas lawmakers are considering proposal to kill, and it's a shockwave roll the economy. The nationwide proliferation of intoxicating hemp products has spurred a booming industry in the state, but also sparked public health concerns and drawn the ire of Dan Patrick, Lieutenant Governor. We have to ban THC and shut down all these stores, poisoning our public. The state Senate overwhelmingly passed legislation last month that would ban practically all hemp products. But the outcome of the House is far from settled, with the industry mounting a lobbying blitz to derail the most punitive proposals. The fight isn't just confined to Texas. Intoxicating hemp products, here in Kentucky as well, have spread across the country after the 2018 Farm Bill legalized cannabis with less than a 0.3% Delta 9 THC, while hemp flower with little THC would not be intoxicating to consume. Producers can easily make consumable products like edibles and beverages that get users high but still meet the legal threshold. The market for intoxicating products has particularly taken hold in states without legal recreational marijuana. Lawmakers from Hawaii to Florida are considering proposals aimed at cracking down on the industry. Even legal weed states like California and Illinois have waded into the hazy politics of hemp crackdowns as marijuana business lobby lawmakers to protect the regulated product. Yeah, man, they want that, and they're going to come after that. And because I've always said, man, that marijuana cannot make any money as long as this is around. So whenever you go into the marijuana game and your state becomes legal, then they got to get rid of the hemp because they don't want sales tax. They want marijuana money. They want marijuana tax. So what are they going to do? Well, it's pretty simple. You just get rid of the fucking hemp. It's pretty simple. And that's how they do it. So when your state votes in, marijuana, it doesn't take them long to get rid of this hemp issue. Or once they get in there and it starts banging heads against the marijuana, then they got to get rid of the hemp. Uh, Read the article. It goes in here and it goes on to say a whole lot. It's a pretty long article, and I don't want to read through the whole article. That's kind of crazy, but they are going to attack this head on. And they give a few people here who talk about how great it is, how much it's helped them, yada yada yada. And of course, the bill has an uncertain fate. In all honesty, man, I mean, it's just kind of how what will happen with it. I don't know, but we have to pay attention to it. Brandon and I are going to stay on top of this, and I don't know that we'll do lives on it, but we may do videos on it, and I may bring you news, like this from across the country, and maybe it'll be a little bit longer videos and maybe more informative, and maybe you want to know more about what's going on there and less of what you should maybe do in the stores. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But all right, so we're coming to the end of this and top of the hour. So remember, send to askchadwade@gmail.com pictures of your stores, your Google page. I need a phone number. Send me your address too, store names, whatever, all the stuff you want in there, and make sure that you put all that in there so that I can, make a whole video of that. Beth says Ohio has a Senate Bill 86 that sounds very similar. Yes, they do. My daughter is going to school up there, and there is kind of a lot of conversation about that up there in that area too. So you're exactly right. There's a lot of bills around where they're really attacking our industry. So I don't know, man. It is what it is. Also, if you want to join the Discord, Brandon's going to leave a link in here where you can, hook the Patreon to the Discord channel, and we'll be more than happy to have you guys there. And we'd love to do it. Should you be looking for processing, please send me your, credit card processing. They deal with our industry, and we'd be more than happy to turn you on to them. Send me your email to askchadwade@gmail.com. I need a name. I need a phone number in order for these people to be able to reach out to you, get to know you, and get you set up, right? Tip Top says, we got 2 Senate bills in Ohio. Yes. Yeah. As bad as I hate it for all you guys, man. And you have, there's so much going on there that I just don't know what this industry is even thinking. I mean, and we're not communicating effectively amongst ourselves to even keep this going. Where we used to, I don't know, I guess maybe I was so used to these guys, talking to each other, and hopefully it will get back to that, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. And maybe someday they will, but they're so scattered, and our industry is so took over by corporate greed and corporations and things now, and none of us want to admit that's true, but it is very true. The corporations have taken over, and there's just too much. And we look at some of the cast of characters that are out there, and we believe, oh no, man, they're just good old boys. And you know this guy that does some rolling papers, he's so great, and his papers are wonderful. Not so much. And then these guys that are over here doing, their CBD, or Delta products, and not so much. And then what about this great big wholesale company, and they've been in the industry a long time, and of course they're being publicly traded, and or they're being they have thousands of employees and all this, and you place an order and you get it 2 weeks later. I don't know. You know, there's a lot going on in the industry, man. And it seems to me the industry hasn't learned from a long time ago. And I cannot be the only one that sees it. I just cannot. You know, I was speaking to a couple of distros today, updating them where the state stands, and and it's weed monopoly where they stand. They want hemp gone. Yeah, yeah, they definitely want it gone, and they'll do it at the detriment of you. They don't give a shit about your tax money. Your tax money don't even matter to them, man, and that's terrible. That's terrible for me to even think like that. And it's true, Tip Top. You're so right. And they cannot wait to get rid of it in order to be able to get that money for the hemp. I mean, for the marijuana money. They want marijuana money. They don't want hemp money. Hemp money's gone. Hemp money is a dead issue for them in the industry. They care less. They don't care how many it burns on the way down. They care less. But just remember, this is the bunch that had you wearing a mask, to go in there and eat, and then you could sit down, then you could take your mask off. Or they regulated, some of their core group to have shots of an unproven product. It's the same group, man. And I don't care, left wing, right wing, same bird, same bird. Don't kid yourselves, y'all. Do not kid yourselves. CBD is included in all the bills with total amount that can't be over 0.5% of any ABC. Yeah, yeah, it is what it is. I hate this, man. I just feel like it's another scam, and I just feel like that if you wanna still play in the realm, you got to pay more money, and you got to have less product to play. And then eventually the circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until eventually that circle is completely around your neck, and you're being choked out and you're dead. And then you're just out of business, and they don't care. They don't care. I mean, are we ever really going to go back to the days of having just pure glass shops where we got glass scales, incense grinders, uh, you know, incense burners, acrylic glass, acrylic, water pipes. Are we going back to that? Are we going back to papers, wraps, and Rillos, cones? Are we really going back to that? Because it kind of sounds like we are. Tip Top says spoke to a senator and they plan to have it passed before summer session here. God, it's unreal, man. I mean, like they got a timeline. So, I mean, are they saying this is the end date for this? I mean, are they saying that? And then what about the regulatory process? Are you going to be, able to how are they going to regulate it? And are they telling you that? Do they have a plan? Are they going to have to set up that plan? But in the meantime, it's all gone. I mean, what the fuck? That's crazy. It's crazy. All right, guys, we're over an hour now, man. I could rant and rave about this all night long, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to because here in the next 2 or 3 hours, I'll go to bed and I'll still be thinking about this, and that just drives me insane, insane. Because the very thought that these people could do this and just don't care. They don't care about us, man. They don't care about us, and we have to care about each other. And I'm going to continue to do this. And I know I don't have a tremendous amount of people here watching these, but I'm going to continue to bring you all this, and hopefully it'll raise some awareness of what's going on. I appreciate that, man. Thank you, Tip Top. I appreciate that. You and Beth always show up. I appreciate you guys so much coming in here and being a part of this with us. But guys, stick with me on this, man. I'll keep you abreast of the situation as long as humanly possible. And you guys have a great night. Email me that stuff, Beth. I want it. I want to be able to feature you as well. You come on here. You two are so faithful on here, and I want to make sure that I focus with you guys and put you guys and raise y'all up too. All right. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Good night. God bless. And if there's anything I can do for you, askchadwade@gmail.com. And if you need some glass, by the way, non-tariffed, by the way, we still have a hell of a lot that we would love to sell you and get in your stores. And it's probably not going to make it before 420. And, but anyway, we're going to have it. And that's at unswholesale.com. And we are more than happy to get that out to you as soon as humanly possible. All right, guys. Please be careful. And again, I thank you for showing up and being a part of it. And I appreciate everything you guys do for us. And thanks for everything. Good night. God bless. See ya.